Okay, so in today's session, I'll be showing you the code how to access a JSON file. Okay, and how to read the JSON file and display it. It is just a small code. Okay, and then how to convert it into you can say a data frame as well. Then I'll move on to some charts today. Okay, I might also I tried downloading. Actually, I downloaded SQL. I should have downloaded MySQL. But then I'll just show you some coding at the end about how to download your SQL and load it, and how to create a ODBC driver, okay, connection. That is not a part of R, but we will go to the control panel and we'll use the ODBC to connect a driver and get connected to the data set. I'll just show you how to create that object there. Okay, that will be at the end. Okay, but I'll show that coding for MySQL also, no, not in today's session, might be on the next session. So in the next session, we'll look into MySQL because I have not loaded MySQL yet, so I won't be able to show you. Right, so today some coding related to JSON file. Now, what is a JSON file? It is written like this, JSON. Okay. Now, JSON files usually, if you look at the full form, it is nothing but a JavaScript, object notation file. Okay. JavaScript, J stands for JavaScript. Okay. And JS, that is JavaScript. Okay. ON is object notation. Okay. And these are in your human readable format, but the file has an extension with JSON in it. Okay, so if I have a file called input, I have already created one file by input, and I'll show you that file as well. I'll show you how to create that file first, and then we'll access that. Okay, one more thing before we start, actually writing the code, you need to install the JSON package. Now, to install the JSON package, we have RJSON. So first of all, you have to use install packages. Okay, and in double quotes, you can mention the name. So I'll give double quotes RJSON. Okay, now because I have already installed it, okay, you can see this one here, RJSON. It's been already installed and it's already also selected. Okay, so I have selected this and kept. Fine. Now, after you install it, next step would be to include this in the code by using library, okay, and the name of the package. So again, you can give RJSON. Okay, this is how you can include it. So these two steps you need to check, before you actually start coding. Remember, it has to be installed first. Okay, the package has to be installed. And then when you include this, then you can go ahead and write the code. Okay, what about the data which we are going to look into? So let me go to the folder where I have this file. So I have this R. Okay, so input JSON file, here it is. Now I have opened this in Notepad. So open with, you can just click on Notepad. Okay. And this is how you can store the file. Okay, this is my JavaScript object notation file. Now this whole content you can see is coming in curly brackets. Okay, so opening and the closing curly bracket. This is my first, you can say, column with the data. So the column name will come in double quotes followed by a colon, and in the square brackets you're going to put the values. Okay, and all the values, as you can see, is being treated as a string. So all the values, in fact, even your decimal numbers, your integer numbers, your dates, everything is coming in double quotes. Okay, and this has to be enclosed in square brackets. So you can see this square bracket here, and here we have the square bracket. Okay, after you complete the first column, give a comma and give the next column. Again, double quotes, colon, and in square bracket, give the next value. Clear? Like this, you can complete your data set. Okay, you can take a screenshot, or if you have you better take a screenshot of this whole thing. Let me just remove the spaces, blank spaces which I have. Okay. Okay, so here we have ID, name, salary, start date, like the previous one, and the department. Okay. Complete this, curly bracket to end it, and you can just click on save. Okay. Now, those who are saving it for the first time, they are supposed to click on save as. Okay. And instead of selecting save as type text, select the option all types, all files. And here, when you save it, just give .json like this. Okay. And save it. So you can click on this save, replace, because I already have it. I'm just saying yes. Okay. And I close this. So this is my JSON file. Okay. Now, because I have, opened this file and I've kept an option of always use Notepad to open this type of file. That's why you get this Notepad icon. Usually you won't get anything. Okay. So might be that the data which is provided to you is in different format. Why we are showing this is so that you can access different types of files. Okay. You should know how to read different types of files. Okay. So let us assume that we already have a file which is given to you, which is by the name input.json. Let us go back to your RStudio. Let us write a small code to open this file and store it in, let us say result. We'll create one result. Okay, so we are going to read this file using the function called JSON. Okay, there's a function called JSON, and it is stored, the data which is fetched from the file will be stored as a list and not as a data frame. Okay, so that's one difference you'll find whenever you are accessing your JSON files. This data which is read will be stored as a list and not as a data frame. Okay, so we can write here the function. Let us put from, name of the function from JSON. This is the function which I'll be using. I have to just specify the file name here. So I can give the file name. So let us give file equal to, okay, and the name of the file is input.json. Okay, that's the file which I want to open. Okay, let us run this one. So I have already included, yes, I have included this. A result gets created. And as soon as I do that, you can see this one. It is saying list of 5. That means a list is created and not a data frame. And now let me print this out. And here you can see there is 5 different objects of 5 lists. You can see this is the first one, name, then salary, start date. Okay, we have department and ID might be on top here. Yes, here it is. So ID, name, salary, start date, and department. Okay, now storing the rows and columns is the best option, as I told you before. So what we'll do is we'll convert this into a data frame instead of using the, the JSON content as a list. The best way is to use it as a data frame. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll come here. Let me, as soon as I read this data, let me convert this into a data frame. So I'll just write J underscore data frame. Okay, data frame. Okay, J underscore data frame. That means just an indication that I'm reading the JSON file. Okay, equal to, use your arrow sign. And now to convert this, as you remember last time, as dot data frame is the option. Okay, and the data which is stored, which I want to convert as a data frame, is stored in result. So I'll use result, run this. Okay, so here I need to display the data frame now. So I'll just give J underscore data frame, run this. And here you can see now I've got a proper row and a column as well. So I have how many objects? I have total 8 objects of 5 variables. You can say 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Clear? So this was a very small code just to show you how we can, access a JSON file, read this file. And by default, remember the file, when we read it, it will be fetched as list. Okay, and we can convert that later on to a data frame by using this conversion function as .data.frame. Okay, and henceforth, whatever operations or whatever manipulations or filtering or extraction, creating subset, finding out the values, the maximum remains the same which we have done before, because now you can handle the data frame. Okay, so all the functions which we have used before can be applied here. Clear? Now the next topic for today would be visualizations. What are visualizations? We have been already doing one application, Tableau. Okay, so in Tableau we are creating this various visualizations. Okay, so in R also we can create some charts. Okay, so let us create one chart today. Today I'll introduce you to the pie chart. So I need not save this. Let me create another one. So we'll create another file. Okay. Now for the pie chart, as of now, I won't require any, new package or something like that. Okay. First of all, the R programming language has numerous libraries to create various charts and graphs. Okay. And a pie chart is, a representation of values as slices. You know that, slices of a circle. So you get a circle and each part, whatever the value is, that will be presented in form of slices. Okay. And it can contain various colors. So color is another option. You can also specify different ways of giving the colors. Your slices are also labeled, and the number which is corresponding to each of the slice represents the value of that particular, you can say, field. Okay, and even the color also is different for each slice. Okay, now the parameter or the syntax which I'll be using to create a pie chart, the function is known as pie, a very simple function, and it takes around I think five or six parameters. Okay, roughly around I think 5 or 6 parameters. We'll see that. And each of the value I'll try to explain you with an example. So let us do one thing. We'll first of all create a vector first with some values. Okay. So to create a chart, so let us create some data, create data. Okay. And I'll be using, let us say, X. And to create a vector, I'll use C into brackets. Let us put only 4 or 5 values. So let us put, say, 25, then say 62. Let us put 10, and let us put some 50s, 55. Okay, there are some values I have put. Let us give some label. So I'll require 4 labels here. So again, one more vector for labels. So I'll give labels. Okay, now here, because it's, let us put L equal to, and let us put some, some city names. Let us put some city names. Let us put Mumbai. Sorry. Then Jaipur. Okay. Delhi. And one more, Pune. Okay. So that each of them is represented. So Mumbai will be 25, Jaipur 62, 62, 10, and 4. So same sequence I'm going to use. Okay, so 2 vectors I have created. Let us run this. 1 and 2. Okay. So here I have 2 vectors, X and Y. Now to plot this, I can directly make use of a function called pi. Let us say plot this. Plot a pie chart. Okay. Now the function is pie. So we have this pie function into bracket. Now, because we have only two things, I have to pass the values and the labels. Right now, I have created two vectors, so x comma l. Okay, that's more than enough for me to create a pie chart. Okay, that easy it is. So let us run this one. So the two parameters which we have given, the first parameter is x, is nothing but a vector which is containing numerical values. Okay, that has to be used in the pie chart. And the second parameter which we have given L, that is nothing but your labels, which is used to give the description to the slices. Okay, so if I run this now, I should get a pie chart. Let's run this one. Okay, and in the plot area here, you can see this here. In the plot area, a pie chart has been created. Okay, that's your pie chart. Clear? The color is taken by default. Okay. Now there are more parameters which we can look into. One of the parameters, the third parameter which is there, is the radius parameter, which indicates the radius of the circle of the pie. Okay, so now this is a default one which is coming, and as I increase the plot area, the circle might increase. Okay, and if I have to specify the radius, I can do that as well. So how much you want, you can specify. The next parameter is the title of the chart. So if I want to give a title to this chart, I can do that as well. Okay, that is your fourth parameter. And then comes your color. Let us take an example and make some changes to the color of the default colors. I'm not happy with this color. So let us create some, we'll change this one. I'll change this function. So we have already passed two parameters. Let us look at the other parameters. Let us give the title to this. So to give the title, there's a parameter called main. Okay, so I can give main equal to, let us say, city pie chart. City pie chart, sorry, pie chart. Okay, that's the title which I'm giving to my chart now. Okay, the next thing which I want to change here is the color. Okay, so to change the color, we have an option called call. Okay, and it takes a vector of colors to be used to fill the slices. Okay, and by default, there are some default colors which are there, which is used. Okay, if you can see, if missing a set of 6, you can see this one here, 6 pastel colors is used. Okay, unless density is specified. Okay, when par fg is used. Okay, here we are not going to do that. We are going to give color equal to, and we have an option called rainbow. Okay, we have an option function, so I'll use rainbow. Okay, now rainbow takes values. It's a collection of various colors. Okay, so again, it's a vector. It creates a vector of n. You can say contiguous colors. Okay, so when I use rainbow into round bracket, I can specify how many colors I want. Now, because I have 4 values, so I can give 4 directly here. Okay, but as I have been telling you that you should not use constant values, because if I change the number of values here, okay, then again I have to come here and change this. That should not happen. Okay, so what I'll do is, instead of giving a constant value, I'll give the length, use the length function. So let us use length into bracket x. Okay, so it is going to find out how many values I have, how many elements I have here. And based on that, this length is going to return a number. So that number here will be 4. So 4 colors will be created for me. So let me run this again. Okay, and here you can see now I've got the title. So city pie chart, and I've got the different colors now, which is coming from this vector which we created using the rainbow function. Okay, so you can do that as well. Now, what if I want to store this pie chart in a file? What if I want to store this as a file? Let us create a JPG file for this, or PNG file, whatever you feel like. Okay, so for that, what I'll do is I'll come here. Okay, let us put some blank lines. Okay, yeah. Let us do one thing. Okay, first of all, let us create a chart file. Okay, so let us create one. So give the chart file a name. Let us give a name to the chart file. Okay, so there's again a function by the name PNG. So I'll be creating PNG files. I can write PNG, okay, into round brackets. Let us give the name, file names. So I'll give file equal to, file name equal to, or you can also make use of file equal to. Okay, the name of the file I can give in double quotes. Let us give city, okay, chart, city chart. Okay, dot. Now here when we give that extension, either you can give JPG extension or you can give PNG extension. It's up to you. Okay, let us, because I'm using a PNG, that does not mean that you have to make use of PNG extension. Let us give JPG, JPG. Okay, that is a extension which I'm giving to this file. So what I'll do is, again, let me start running from here. Let us start from here. So first content, second one I have executed, next one I have executed. Okay, now let me clear this one, or let me run this fine, and then we'll check it out how it looks like. Then we'll say we'll run this one. Control, a pie chart gets created. Okay, now to save the file, there's a function which I have to write. So save the file. Okay, to save the file, we write dev dot off. Okay. Now this function usually provides a control of multiple graphical device. Now, when I say off, okay, and I run this one, I get this. Okay, there were two devices which were active. One was the plot area, might be the area of our environment, and the other one was the file. Okay, so we have given this file name. Let us try to check out whether this file got created or not. So the name is citychart.jpg. So I'll go to my folder, the default folder. The R is my default folder. And here you can see this one, the name of my file, when it got created, 2nd August, timing 2:26. And here you can see it is 2:26. That means it just got created. I can open this file, double click on it. Okay, and that's my pie chart. Okay, the pie chart which was actually displayed in my plot area is now saved in a file. Okay, and here we get the information. Clear? Now, if I have to show the chart legend and might be the slice percentage or something like that, I can do that as well, because legends are not there, percentage is not there. So it's not giving me exact, information. So let me make some changes. We'll come back. Okay, come back to your code. I'm not going to do anything. I'll just create a pie, percentage first, because the values are different. So let me come here. Let us do it here. Okay. So after I create X and my label, I'll create another value. Let us say pi percentage. Okay, so pi percent equal to, I'll round it up. So I'll use the round function. And what will be the formula? Formula would be, we have the value X. So the value of X multiplied by 100. Okay. And the addition of all these numbers, that will give me the answer. So I can write here X, okay, multiply this by 100, okay, and then divide this by the sum of all the numbers. So don't do it manually. I can make use of the sum function. So I can give sum into bracket X. Okay, so this should give me the percentage, right? Fine. Okay, so we have this round, and I want to round it up to uh, 1 decimal places. So you just give one. I hope this works. I hope I'm right. Okay, fine. Here it is creating it. Okay, up to 1 decimal places, right? You can see this here. So from 1 to 4, 4 values, because we had X, we had how many values? 4 values. For each of them, a percentage is now getting created. Okay. Now, once we create this, let me save this with a different name. So we know that it is not, so city chart underscore, let us give underscore legends. So LEGENDS, legends. Okay, so that, I know, okay, this chart is with legends and with percentage also, but so if I want to know percent, okay, city, or let me give this legend, let me give percent also, percentage and legend, like this. Okay, now this is a big name, but still, just to differentiate between the previous file and this. Okay, I know that this contains percentage and legends as well. Now let us plot this. So we have run this one. Let us run this one first. So I execute this. Okay. Now for plotting, I have to make some changes. X is already there. Label is given. Your mean is given here. So city pie chart, no problem. Color, I'll stick to the same one, the rainbow colors which we get. Now, where is my round bracket? This one is the inner one. This is the outer one. Yeah. Now, after this, I'll give a comma. Let me put an enter sign here and give legend now. So legend into round brackets, I have to specify which direction or which corner I want to display this. Okay. Now I want to display this, let us say on the top right side. Okay. So I'll give you top right, comma. Okay. And I have to specify the names now. I want to specify the names. This will be again a vector. So let me give C. Now let me give, instead of C, I can give L as well. So let us use L. Okay, because we already have it. So why to use, or why to complicate this further? But if you want, you can specify it. Then give a comma. After this, give CEX equal to how big you want this. So let us keep it 0. Some 7 or 8. Let us give 7. Okay. Give a comma. And I need to fill this with colors also, because whatever the boxes are created. So fill equal to. Now here again, I'll be using the same function which we gave here. So I'll just copy this. Okay, it might be looking very complicated. Let us try to understand this. Okay, what are the parameters? Let us first of all, let me remove this. Now see, I'll be giving it like this actually. If I want to give some legends, I can just copy this out and give it here. Okay, you can give it like this. Let me press enter here again so that I'm down here. Okay, now look at this parameters. We have first passed the values which I want to plot in my pie chart. Second is my labels, okay, which I want. Then comes my title which I have given to the chart, followed by the color which I'm going to create based on the number of values. That many colors will get created here. And then I decide where I want the legend to be displayed. Okay, so on top right, I want the legend to be displayed with the text values like, your Mumbai, Jaipur, Delhi, and Pune. Okay, this is the size which I have given here, and it's going to be filled by the same color which is getting generated here. Okay, so let me run this one. Okay, now if you look at this option, now when I run this line, now in my plot area, nothing is changing. Okay, why it is not changing? Because this whole chart which is going to get created will be stored in this file. Okay, and it won't be displayed here. If I do not create a file, In that case, if you're using the pi function, if you use the pi function directly and then run this code, line number 14, that chart will come here. Okay, let us save this file. I've offed it. And when I come to my folder to check whether I have one file, yes, here it is. Now city percentage legend, let me open this one. Oh God, nothing is created. Let me close this again. I'll execute this file again, just 1 minute. I'll clear this one. Let me clear everything. Yes, I want to clear this. Let us execute this whole thing again. Okay, because now it's already off, so it is. So I'll run this one, second, third, fourth file is created. Okay, plot it. Okay, and finally off it. Okay, now you can see there's nothing getting plotted here, but it should come in the file. So I'll come back here. This is my file. I hope it comes now. We cannot open this file. Let us do it again. Oh God. Okay, let me change the name again. Let us try to create it again. I'll create something. Let us say city chart or ch only city chart. I'll change this city. Just put underscore. Okay, I hope this is off. But this is okay. It's not off yet. So off. Unexpected symbol. Div dot off. Oh God, what's happening? Let me save this file. We'll run this again. Pie chart. Let us say pie chart in R dot R. I'll do one thing. I'll close this everything and then we'll open it again. Okay, JSON file. So this is JSON file in R dot R. Okay, let me close this. I'll delete this file as well. Okay, let me open now whether it is opening. Nothing. So let me delete this. What about this one? Yeah, this is already there. Fine. Now let me start the studio again, and I hope this time it works. So this was the file. Okay, here we go. So let me open that one. Open. What was the name which I gave this? Date modified pie chart. Okay, there's some error here. Okay, it's unmatched. Okay, round bracket, there's some error. Okay, this is one round bracket. What about this? What is this? This is okay. I think I have missed the round bracket. This one, this one. This is legend and one round bracket. Okay, now this sounds better. Might be because of the round bracket, it was not giving me the chart. Okay, let me now change this name. I'll just give legends here. Fine, let us start running this. 1, 2, 3, no error, no error. But it should have shown me the error there. Okay, here it shows me. Okay, non-numeric argument in binary operator. Okay, where's non-numeric value? Okay, let us look into this whole thing again. Okay, so we have given X, we have given L, then we gave the main function, then we gave column. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to give this here. Okay, this gets over here. I had to go home. This is the legend is another. It's outside this. Now, what about this one? This is an extra round bracket. This is okay. This is. I need one. I hope so. This closed. This closed here. So extra is this is extra. Fine. Now, if I run this again, a pie chart, okay, then create a legend and then save it. Okay, now let us go and open that file, legend 5G. Yeah, fine, that's it. Okay, there were some errors which I had made. Okay, I wrote the legend code, the code in the same line. That was the reason I kept it along with the function. It's not a part of the py function. Please remember, legend is another function which we have to give it on the next line. Okay, that was the reason. Now this legend, this looks very small. Let us make some changes. Okay, this is the legend which got created. Okay, top right. Okay, so when we come back, now this is because of the size which I have given. Might be this is too small. 9. Let us change this to 9. Again, I'll run this code here. Save. Okay, let us see it. Any changes? Yeah, this is a bit better. Okay, fine. So here you can see the box size on the top right side has come, the legend has come, and we are able to, at least make some, get some information. Now, what about the values which I want to display? What about the values which I want to display in the, the diagram which I want? What about that? How do I do that? Or if I want to convert this, let us convert this into a 3D chart. Let us convert this into a 3D chart. Okay, we have less than 1 minute left.